Hi class, this is Art here, and this video is going to cover my expectation for enhancement theory number 3 and enhancement theory number 4. For this one, you're going to go ahead and create a collection for both ET03 and 04. So you're going to have 6 images total. These are going to be the original images. Once you have the 3 for ET03, which is the black and white and split toning, and the other 3, which you can see here for the ET04, which is cropping and cloning or spot healing tool in Lightroom. Go ahead and rename all these 6 files first before you do anything else to it. So to rename, you would go to click on Library, rename Photos. In this case, you would pick the preset you guys already made for the enhancement theory, and you would rename the files. And I'm not going to go ahead and do that. You can review that video separately. And once you've done that, what you can do here for the images for the ET04, you can go ahead and make a virtual copy by highlighting the file and going to Photo and clicking on Create Virtual Copies, so that I can see before and after in terms of what you have done to the files in terms of cropping and cloning and so forth. So anyway, let's get rolling here. Primarily what I would like you guys to do for ET03 is pretty much convert one image into black and white. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into Develop here. Now, when you work on an image, make sure that you do go through the basic dialog first. For example, pulling up the contrast as we prescribe, adjusting a highlight to shadow, making sure the white point set correctly before we do anything else. And once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and click on black and white here. You have the opportunity to come and change the tone and so forth. I'm going to actually have a separate recording for the black and white so that you can kind of watch that out separately. But what I'm going to do here is enable the film strip here in the bottom a little bit here. So one of the image has to be, for instance, like I mentioned, in black and white, like so. The second image can be needs to be in black and white. And this one, what you can also do here is come and do some split toning. For example, adding like a sepia tone image here. This is not well done, but you can get the idea. Okay, and then the third image will also be in black and white as well. I'll come and click on black and white. And for the third image, I'd like you guys to have fun with it, so you can do sepia, split toning, or whatever you like to do. Let's say I want to play around with split toning a little bit here. I'm going to actually make the highlight a little bit more towards the yellow-orange side, like sepia. Make the shadow more towards the cool side, to kind of just cool it down and just play around with the balance a little bit right there. Let's balance up to more towards highlight. Okay, perfect. So if I look back in my library, I can see that I've worked through these 3 images, and I wouldn't necessarily turn in any image magenta like that, but just to give us an idea. Now, jumping on right to ET04, what I would like you guys to do is really come and pick an image. For example, like this one. Let's go ahead and work on it first. So you can work on setting the exposure. Make sure you upgrade the process version by clicking on that little exclamation points update. And we're going to change the exposure to highlight a little bit, set the white point. Also, if your white balance is off, go ahead and kind of just change that to make sure it looks right as well. So for an image like this one, for instance, I might work on both the crop tool and the spot removal tool. So first of all, I'm going to work on the crop tool. I'm going to unlock the aspect ratio here. And this is just the expectation for the assignment, what I want you guys to turn in. You can watch the in-depth video going over all these features in depth in the other episode. So let's say I've done that. And let's say my goal here is to remove one of the telephones thing, because I think it's actually creating too much of a symmetry here. I'm going to go ahead and click on the clone tool. A little bit larger than than the size of the phone that I have here. Let's see where can we sample to get a good representation. I'm going to sample the area in between these 2 phones, and let's hope that works. And just keep in mind that when you're doing something like this, you're using up a lot of computational power, so your computer is not going to run quite as fast as you honestly believe or originally believe is going to run. For instance, I'll just clone that area too. Cover that one up, and for something like this, I'm pretty much done. I can close my clone tool out. So something like this, I can go in and somewhat see the difference between the before and the after in terms of what you've done to change it and so forth. Again, something like this image right here wouldn't necessarily come in to crop it, because I kind of like the crop that I have already. What I'm probably most likely going to do for this image here is just kind of work on some of the blemishes and so forth. So I'm going to actually cool the skin tone down a little bit and zoom in here. Let's zoom in 1 to 2, and I can use the heal tool here and just take out some of the acnes and so forth. This is a picture of my friend here, Noemi. So you can kind of just go ahead and just click on there, and Lightroom is going to slowly work to catch up with what we're doing here. As you can kind of see, it's not the instantaneous change you can expect from it, but it works rather well in terms of getting quick retouching done like this. So you can do something like this on a portrait. Alright, and I'm going to actually jump into the last picture here just to kind of show you what I'm about to do. Oops, let's delete that. Okay. We're going to wait for the computer to unfroze for a sec here. There you go, zoom out. Alright, update process version. What we're going to do for this one is we're going to go ahead and use the crop tool to straighten an image and also crop it horizontally. So I'm going to grab my straightening tool, drag it along the line of buildings like so. So now I've straightened it. I've unlocked the aspect ratio. Let's say I just want this part of, like the block to show. I can go ahead and do that. And if I want to clone out elements from the picture, I can totally go ahead and do that as well, in addition to what I've done. Let's say, for instance, I want to clone this square box out. I can go ahead and just click on, target that square box like so, and just move my clone tool up and just line this up really carefully like so, right there. Let go, and if I close this tool out right here, let's go ahead and go out of there. So we can kind of see now that the box there is gone. So that's pretty much the idea here for this enhancement theory number 3 and number 4, is to produce, well, a total of 9 images. 3 of the images for each of them have to be original, and for instance, you can kind of see here, these are the highlighted ones for the ETO4. As you can kind of see, there's the original and the virtual copy, so we can see kind of like a difference in terms of what changes you make to it in terms of the crop, the cloning, and so forth. Once you're done with this, go ahead and scroll down to ETO 304, like right there. Right click on this, go to export collection as a catalog. When you do so, make sure that the export negative files and include available previews are selected. Go ahead and scroll down to your hard drive on the left side of the Mac window there and just save your file. Alright, so that's pretty much the expectation for E3, O3, and O4, and I'm going to do a separate recording addressing how to play with the tools in a little bit here. Alright.